Mission failed. It's really gone.
Don't worry, Giju. We can try again.
Welcome to a world where everyone is a professional liar and Instagram is the playground for the fake. People flex supercars they do not own and bodies they have edited to perfection just to hide their pathetic flaws from the world. We hide our true selves even from the people we claim to love. You never truly know what your partner is hiding until the secret is finally dragged into the light. But our girl Giju Gong doesn't have to worry about that anymore. She's got a secret weapon that makes sure no red flag goes unnoticed. At Pyongyang Art University, Giju is the legend who wins every playwriting contest she touches. But despite her genius, the campus gossip is brutal. Normally, she wouldn't even look at small-time contests, but lately, she's entering everything. Word on the street is that she's doing it all for her boyfriend. Apparently, she's been handing over every cent of her prize money to fund his life. The top-tier writer has turned into a total financial doormat. Her peers are calling her the ultimate pushover. Back in high school, she actually wrote her boyfriend's entire college application and got caught. Then in college, she dated a sleazeball who asked for an open relationship while she was doing all his homework.
The red flags were screaming, but she just kept doing his projects until he dumped her for someone else.
It's obvious to everyone that men only date her to take advantage of her kindness. Everyone pities the girl with zero survival instincts. Even now, she's staring at her phone about to transfer another 500,000 won to boyfriend with a heart icon. That is about $350 gone in a single click. Someone needs to take this girl's phone away immediately. When her friends corner her for contest tips, Giju gives them the cold shoulder.
She knows they're judging her, but she'd rather walk away than hear the truth.
She's tired of being the department's favorite topic of conversation. Her friends aren't even trying to hide the disrespect, asking her exactly where she's going to spend that prize money. They mock her, knowing there won't be a cent left once she pays her boyfriend's bills. Giju tries to play it off as being a passionate lover, but the roast continues. They ask if she'll have anything left for herself, and the silence in the room is deafening.
It is safe to say the entire school thinks she's a total joke.
Then they notice the cheap ring on her finger. They ask if it's a couple's ring, but when they hear it's a unique brandless piece from a street vendor, they can't help but lean in and squint at the audacity of it all. Giju insists that getting a toy ring was her idea because Jimin is just so nice and lets her have her way.
Her friends are literally dumbfounded, wondering why she's defending a guy who gives her plastic jewelry while she pays his rent.
Our girl really tries to argue that Jimin is a good person because he reads a lot of books. She claims research shows more reading leads to a higher EQ, making him more kind. Her friends just laugh, pointing out her exes had high EQs too. Her standards are officially in the gutter. Her friends point out that she just prefers to give than receive, which is a nice way of saying she's a human ATM. Giju is finally reaching her limit with the constant criticism. Just as the tension peaks, the campus heartthrob Hale Yun enters the chat. He's treating everyone to lunch, and the room erupts. Compared to Giju's struggling actor boyfriend, Hale looks like he stepped out of a luxury catalog. Hale is the complete package, brains, manners, and looks that make the professors and students alike obsess over him. He's the golden boy of the university, and watching him just makes Giju's cheap ring look even more pathetic. Her friends keep pushing the agenda that she should aim for someone like Hale who has actual street cred and looks. Giju tries to tell herself her relationship is fine, but deep down, the doubt is starting to crawl in.
Giju glances at her ring, wondering if it's really that awful.
She tries to convince herself it's perfectly fine, but the comparison to a real man like Hale is starting to hurt. She's desperate to believe Jimin is different. She runs into Jimin on campus and her heart melts because he looks worried about her. She just sent him more money, and he's playing the role of the concerned boyfriend perfectly. She can't see that he's just there because the cash hit his account. Jimin acts like he wanted to return the money in person because he felt bad seeing her upset. It is a masterclass in manipulation.
He sees her looking sad and immediately plays the good guy card to make her feel guilty for doubting him.
Giju is convinced she's just paying him back for being there during her last breakup. She hates being indebted to anyone, a trait that stems from her childhood. If someone did her a favor back then, she felt a compulsive need to pay them back tenfold. This childhood obsession has ruined her romantic life.
She thinks giving more is the only way to prove her love.
While her boyfriends were grateful at first, they eventually learned to treat her generosity like a given right. She's been training these men to treat her like a bank account since she was in pigtails. Even when she gives him flowers or expensive gifts, it's never enough to buy the respect she actually deserves. Jimin holds her hand and tells her they aren't strangers, so she shouldn't talk about money. He claims lovers should support each other, which is exactly what a leech says right before they suck you dry. Giju is completely blinded by his different attitude. He even brings her kimchi from her mom and says he helped out at her parents' restaurant. To Giju, this is the ultimate proof of love. He's helping her family, so she feels like she has to fund his life even more to balance the scale. Jimin acts all disappointed when he doesn't get a callback for an audition. Giju comforts him, telling him it's their loss because his face is too good for them. She's basically his #1 fan and his only source of income. Jimin calls himself the James Dean of the school and Giju just laughs along like a loyal fan. She knows his parents don't support his acting, so she's entering 100 contests a month just to keep his delusional hopes alive. The list of contests she wins is insane, from raspberry festivals to linguistic culture essays. She sees the prize money as the definitive proof of her love, which is honestly just heartbreaking. She's buying his affection one essay at a time. Jimin is about to go get some expensive steamed pork feet, and even though it's pricey, Giju doesn't care because he likes it.
She's ready to pay for anything just to keep that smile on his face.
Giju is convinced Jimin is different from her toxic exes. She's planning to show him every part of herself for their 100th day anniversary. She's nervous and scared but wants her first time to be with him. She even starts shopping for special lingerie online to make the night perfect.
She's convinced that when he sees her effort, he'll literally burst into tears of happiness.
Our girl is going all out for a man who hasn't even bought her a real meal yet.
While she's daydreaming about their trip, she hears a vibrating sound and realizes Jimin left his phone behind. She thinks he's an adorable klutz, but as she picks it up to check the notification, her entire reality starts to crumble.
A message pops up saying Jimin has found himself a real-life sugar mama. Giju's heart stops as she scrolls through a group chat full of her own pictures. He's been bragging to his friends about his ATM girlfriend like she's a prize pig. The chat is a horror show. He mocks her parents' small restaurant and laughs about how she's dying to give him more. He even shares screenshots of the money transfers she sent for his acting school and rent. When his friends tell him to get a job if he actually feels bad, he just replies, "Why would I do that when I'm living the sweet life?" Giju is shaking as Jimin walks back in, complaining about the cold while carrying the food she paid for. He tries to act all cute and says he ran back to keep the pork feet warm, but Giju is just staring at him with his phone in her hand.
He realizes he's been caught and his nice guy mask finally starts to slip.
Jimin immediately starts making pathetic excuses, claiming it was all just talk and he was just bragging because his life is stuck.
Giju realizes the James Dean of the school is just a talentless loser who used her for clout.
Giju finally calls him out for being pathetic. He grabs her shoulder and tells her to just hear him out, desperate to keep his financial sponsor.
The tension in the room is explosive as the truth finally comes out.
She realizes she was truly blind.
Jimin has no talent and no plan, only a backup plan to live off her prize money forever.
She's done being his doormat and he's starting to lose his mind.
In a fit of rage, Jimin loses his temper and actually strikes her across the face. The nice guy is officially a violent monster.
Giju hits the floor, finally seeing the true dark colors of the man she thought she loved.
Giju stands her ground, despite the pain.
She realizes that even when everyone warned her, she still chose to believe in him.
She screams that she was truly happy with that cheap toy ring, but now she's throwing it right back in his face.
After throwing the ring and ending it, Giju tries to escape. Jimin grabs her, begging for a second chance, but in the struggle, she stumbles. She takes a horrific tumble down the stairs, wishing she could have recognized the red flags before it was too late.
Jimin is screaming her name like he actually cares, but we all know he's just terrified of losing his human ATM. Giju is literally suspended in the air, watching her life slip away while that parasite reaches out for her in a panic.
As she falls, it's not her future that flashes before her eyes, it's a highlight reel of all the garbage men she has ever dated. The jerk who made her write his college essays and the sleazeball who wanted an open relationship are all there, mocking her in her memories. Falling through the dark, she finally hits rock bottom mentally.
She's actually blaming herself, wondering if it's her fault for being such a magnet for toxic trash.
She's begging the universe for a sign, any sign, to recognize these red flags before they destroy her.
Her last conscious thought is a desperate prayer.
If only someone had taught her the signs. If only she had eyes that could see through the lies. She loses consciousness, wishing she'd never have to be treated like a pathetic doormat ever again. Giju finally opens her eyes in a hospital room, and guess who is hovering over her? Jimin is back in perfect boyfriend mode, acting all concerned and probably rehearsing his next round of lies for the doctors. But wait, the fall didn't just give her a headache, it gave her a miracle. A floating digital window appears above Jimin's head. It is a brutal 1-star review from an anonymous ex-girlfriend, warning that he's a drunk who hits women. It's not a hallucination, it's a gift from heaven. Giju is staring at his entire toxic history displayed in midair while he continues to plead for forgiveness. The game is officially over for Jimin, and Giju's revenge era is just beginning. Waking up in a hospital bed is bad enough, but imagine opening your eyes and seeing digital notifications floating in midair.
Giju is officially questioning her sanity, wondering if her headfirst dive down the stairs caused some permanent brain damage.
Right above her boyfriend Jimin's head, there are literal glowing stars and blocks of text like a Yelp review for humans.
It even includes Giju's own delusional thoughts about him being a perfect man.
But the real tea is in the other reviews from his ex-girlfriends, Jae-hye Kim and Gaeong Song. They aren't holding back, calling him a violent bastard who has a nasty habit of hitting women when he's drunk or angry. Despite the evidence hovering right in front of her face, Jimin is still trying to play the part of the devoted lover. He is grabbing her arm and insisting they shouldn't break up over a simple mistake. The audacity of this man is truly off the charts. Now he is moving on to the classic gaslighting strategy, claiming he only pushed her because she provoked him. Giju is looking at him with a whole new level of clarity, and she notices something even more disgusting on her hand. That cheap anniversary ring is back on her finger. This parasite actually slid it back on her while she was unconscious just to keep his meal ticket secured. Giju's face says it all, she is completely done with this performance. When Giju starts questioning his manipulative trash behavior, Jimin immediately folds like a lawn chair. He gets so flustered that he uses the "I'll go find a doctor" excuse just to run away from the confrontation.
Left alone, Giju finally has a moment to breathe and think.
These aren't just random hallucinations. They are live, verified reviews of Jimin's character written by the people who actually know the real him.
She realizes the system looks exactly like movie or restaurant reviews.
The ratings prove that his violent outburst wasn't a one-time accident, it's a habitual pattern of abuse. The system even shows her movie reviews to prove a point.
It's like her brain has been upgraded with a premium subscription to the truth.
She scrolls through more reviews of Jimin, and they are all 1-star disasters. It turns out he gets dating advice from his buddies and tells them every private detail of Giju's life. Giju can't believe how blind she was. If these reviews are true, then Jimin is a dangerous monster who hits women habitually. But how can she be 100% sure this isn't just a dream? Just then, her friend Sang-sun slams the door open, and boom, a brand new window appears. Giju isn't just seeing reviews for her boyfriend, she is seeing them for everyone.
Sang-sun is panicking about Giju's fall, but Giju is too busy reading Sang-sun's ex-boyfriend's complaints.
This is the ultimate test to see if her new powers are legit or if she's just lost it. The reviews for Sang-sun are oddly specific, with guys like Sanjeol Park and Jaehyun Kim complaining about her reactions to public surprises and her views on intimacy. Giju decides to go full detective mode. She needs to ask Sang-sun about these specific details to verify if the review system is actually accurate. She asks Sang-sun if she really broke up with Sanjeol because of a public birthday surprise. Sang-sun's reaction is pure shock. She can't believe Giju knows about that embarrassing mess. Giju doubles down and asks about the other ex, Jihan, who wouldn't touch her unless she promised to marry him. Sang-sun is absolutely stunned and calls her ex trash for being such a loudmouth.
That's the final confirmation Giju needed. The reviews are the absolute, unfiltered truth.
While Sang-sun is shaking her and asking how she knows all this, Giju is realizing her life is about to change forever.
Sang-sun notices the bruise on Giju's face and realizes she didn't just fall backwards down the stairs.
Jimin chooses this exact moment to walk back in, and you can practically smell the fear on him.
Jimin sees Sang-sun and immediately starts sweating. He makes a pathetic excuse about an audition and flees the hospital like the coward he is. Sang-sun is ready to rip his head off for leaving Giju alone again.
Giju finally confesses the whole truth to Sang-sun about Jimin's violence.
Sang-sun is furious that her friend didn't tell her sooner, but Giju is just staring at that cheap toy ring. Despite ending the relationship, the ring is still there. In a moment of pure experimentation, Giju slides it off her finger. Instantly, the floating reviews vanish into thin air. She slides the ring back on and, swish, the digital windows are back in business. The source of her power is confirmed. This cheap piece of vendor jewelry is a literal divine relic for spotting trash men. Giju is huffing and puffing from the stress of it all, but she's never felt more powerful.
She realizes her desperate wish to see red flags was actually granted by a higher power.
She remembers all the times she was treated like a doormat because she couldn't see the signs. But with these new eyes, she will never be a victim again.
Sang-sun thinks Giju has finally snapped because she's yelling at a piece of plastic jewelry.
But Giju is already planning her next move, finding the mysterious store where she originally bought this ring.
She spends all night thinking about it, knowing that the seller must have some answers.
The quest for the truth is officially on.
She's barely back on campus before the resident leech, Jimin, shows up again. He's been lurking around waiting for her, ready to drop another round of pathetic excuses. But Giju isn't the same girl he pushed down the stairs. Jimin tries to play the "I can't live without you" card, but Giju is seeing through the performance now. New reviews from his friends appear, revealing that he's a total parasite who relies on women to pay his rent and bar tabs. Giju decides to end the cycle for good, offering to pay his next month's rent just to get him to disappear forever. She's being firm because she needs this relationship to end for her own sanity. No more sugar mama status. Losing his financial sponsor sends Jimin into a full-blown meltdown right there in public.
He clenches his fist, ready to strike her again, because he can't handle the truth.
But someone is about to crash his violent little party. Just as Jimin is about to turn violent, a tall, imposing figure intercepts him. He accidentally bumps into the trash can, making Jimin look like the tiny coward he really is. One look at the stranger's size and Jimin decides it's time to run away again. And who is the savior? None other than Hae-yeon, the campus star. He's checking on Giju with all the perfect manners and handsome looks that everyone obsesses over. He's acting every bit the gentleman everyone says he is. Giju looks up at the ultimate catch, the man with the brains and the face of an angel. She prepares to see a symphony of glowing 5-star reviews above his head. She's waiting for proof that a truly good man actually exists. She focuses her new eyes on the floating window above Hale's head, but the rating she sees doesn't just surprise her, it leaves her completely frozen in shock. Is the campus golden boy hiding a secret even darker than Jimin's?
You thought the abusive ex was bad?
Try looking at the campus golden boy and seeing a 0.5-star rating.
Giju is officially losing her mind because the perfect Hae-yeon is apparently the ultimate red flag.
This system is brutal. Even her messy friend Sang-sun got 3.5 stars, and the violent Jimin managed a 2.0. So why is Mr. Perfect hovering in the basement of human decency? The volume of reviews for Hale is absolutely overwhelming.
Giju is staring at him like he is a horror movie villain while he just stands there with that model-tier smile.
What kind of catastrophic love life did this guy have to get a rating this low? Giju is flinching as she tries to read the text, but there are just too many secrets to process at once. Hale breaks the tension by calling her name. He knows her from the playwriting contests. He is acting like a total gentleman, which is honestly the scariest part of this whole situation. He says he sees her name everywhere and wanted to meet her in person. Giju is dying of embarrassment after her public drama with Jimin, but Hale is being remarkably chill. Giju quickly blurts out that they broke up just to clear the air. She is so humiliated she wants to disappear into the sidewalk, but Hale just takes it in stride. She uses his class schedule as an excuse to bolt. She needs answers about this ring, and she needs them now. She sprints back to that sketchy toy store from last week.
She is worried Hale thinks she is a total pushover for wearing a ring from her ex.
Meanwhile, Hale's friends are calling him to class, finally giving her a chance to breathe. Giju reaches the shop and slams the ring on the counter. She needs to know what this thing is capable of and why her eyes are suddenly a lie detector. Plot twist. The vendor claims he has never seen or sold a ring like that in his entire life. Giju is arguing with him because she literally bought it there last week.
If the vendor is telling the truth, then where did this magic jewelry come from?
Jimin has the same ring, but he is not reacting to reviews, so Giju is the only one with the power. She heads back to her parents' restaurant and immediately gets hit with TMI. Every customer is getting exposed. This guy is apparently more into 2D characters than real women. The hairdresser Yoni gets roasted by her exes too. Apparently, she is never satisfied and her boyfriends are actually afraid of her every single night. Giju is seeing way too much info. Giju is staggering from the information overload. When her parents approach to check on her, she takes off running.
There is no way she is reading her mom and dad's secret dating history.
She is freaked out and sprinting through the streets.
She realizes the ring is the key, but she is not ready to know the truth about the people she actually cares about.
Her parents are confused as she dashes away, but Giju is just trying to keep her head straight. The reviews are everywhere, and they are not stopping for anyone. Back on campus, she tries to decide if she should keep the ring off. But if she wants to understand this power, she has to face the digital music. Then, the fan club starts squealing. The campus gossip is in full swing. Hale's mom owns a major publishing house and his dad is a famous writer. He is rich, humble, and perfect.
Or so they think.
Giju is the only one who knows they all have the wrong idea. If his 0.5 star rating is right, then Hale Yun is the most dangerous man on campus. Hale approaches her again and hands her a Pocari Sweat. He claims it is just an extra from the freshman, but he is being way too chummy with her for no reason. Just as she is being wary of Hale, her phone starts blowing up. It is the king of trash himself, Jimin, sending some of the most arrogant texts in human history. This guy actually tries to dump her first. He claims he is ready for a fresh start because he finally got an audition callback. He is blocking her and acting like he is the one in control. Giju isn't letting him off that easy. She tracks him down to the theater department to demand he pays her hospital bill. But she freezes when she hears him talking to his friends. Jimin is shamelessly lying, telling everyone Giju threw a fit and hit him. He is painting her as a violent nut job who couldn't handle the breakup. The level of audacity is insane. His friends are laughing and calling her a nut job. Jimin even says it's his fault for dating a girl who had nothing else in her life. This guy is a literal professional gaslighter. They bring up her past relationships, claiming she was a stalker who got dumped for a reason. Jimin is building a fortress of lies to protect his good guy reputation.
Giju looks at the friends and realizes they all have low ratings too.
Birds of a feather really do flock together. Meanwhile, Jimin is bragging about his callback for a prestigious troupe. Trash boyfriend Jimin is out here acting like a big man, bragging to his buddies about having hot pictures of Giju. He is literally asking them if he should make her beg for him to come back. The level of delusion is honestly astronomical. But the joke is on him. Giju steps out from the shadows and snatches that phone right out of his greasy hands. His friends are leaning in, dying for a peek at the goods, but they are about to get a front row seat to his downfall instead. It turns out the hot pictures were just screenshots of her profile picture. Giju does not waste a second, she deletes that folder before the coward can even process what is happening. Jimin is looking at her like he just saw a ghost, asking her when she even got there. Giju is done playing games. She does not just walk away, she slams the phone down and destroys it in front of everyone. The sound of that screen cracking is the sweetest melody she has heard all week. Total boss move. Jim and his friends are absolutely speechless.
They are watching Giju walk away with a vibe that screams, "Do not cross me." Jimin, meanwhile, is in a full-blown panic because his cool guy image is currently burning to the ground.
Giju points to the scar on her face, the literal mark of his violence. She is trying to call him out, but Jimin is already switching into damage control mode. He is terrified she is going to expose the domestic monster hiding behind that actor mask.
In a panic, Jimin yanks her away from the crowd.
He is not worried about her, he is worried about his reputation. He starts shoving her around, demanding to know if she has gone crazy. No, Jimin, she just finally woke up.
Jimin starts spewing toxic venom, asking if she was really going to reveal the truth in front of everyone.
He is worried about his rep, but Giju claps back that if he cared about his image, he should not have been a violent trash fire in the first place. Now comes the masterclass in gaslighting.
He asks Giju if she really thinks she can handle the backlash of telling people the truth.
He is trying to make her feel like the villain for his mistakes. It is peak manipulative behavior. This guy actually has the nerve to say he is doing her a favor by lying. He claims he is telling people she is the one who dumped him so she looks like she is wearing the pants. He is trying to make himself look like the victim while pretending to be considerate.
He cruelly reminds her that the campus already thinks she is a pathetic doormat.
If the truth comes out that she paid his rent and tuition only to get beat up, no one is going to take her side.
They will just laugh at her desperation. The weight of his words hits her like a physical blow.
Giju feels physically sick as she realizes her own reputation as a pushover is exactly why this leech thinks he can walk all over her.
It is a bitter pill to swallow.
She screams that it is all bulls asterisk asterisk asterisk, but deep down, she knows the campus rumors are already working against her.
Jimin is just standing there, smug as ever, watching his manipulation take hold. The memories of people pitying her and calling her a doormat start flooding back. Jim and his words are echoing in her head, and for a second, she almost believes him. But her anger is starting to burn through the gaslighting. Jimin finally dismisses her like she is an annoying bug. He has got an important meeting and does not have the energy for her anymore. He tells her to let it go as if he didn't just shove her down a flight of stairs last night. Giju is left alone, staring at his ruined phone.
She realizes all his fake apologies were just a performance to save his own skin.
She is finally done being a supporting character in his toxic drama. She turns her focus back to the floating reviews. Gaeong Song and Jae-hai Kim, those names are the key. They are the living proof that Jimin has a pattern of abuse, and Giju is determined to track them down.
Suddenly, she realizes she is not alone.
Hae Yun, the campus star, is standing right there, puffing on a cigarette. He has seen and heard everything. Talk about the worst possible timing for a private meltdown. Giju is absolutely mortified. The most popular guy in school just witnessed her getting roasted by her trash ex.
She is staring at him, wondering if he is going to use this trauma as the next campus gossip headline.
She desperately begs him to keep what he saw a secret. She is already at rock bottom, she can't handle being the department's laughingstock. But Hale is not looking at her with pity, he has got a different vibe entirely. Hale hits her with the ultimate "what is in it for me" line. Instead of just agreeing to be a good person, he invites her to dinner. Giju is confused as hell, but she is in no position to say no to his hush money request. At the restaurant, the atmosphere is fancy, but Giju cannot even look him in the eye. It is not just because he is handsome, it is because the reviews hovering over his head are getting wilder and more scandalous by the second. The digital windows are labeling Mr. Perfect as a pretty piece of trash. Apparently, Hae Yun is a total Casanova who ghosted women after giving them unforgettable nights. Talk about a plot twist. Hale notices her avoiding eye contact and calls her out on it. He is acting all humble and sweet, but Giju is reading the reviews that say he goes hard during the night. The TMI is reaching critical levels. Giju is flushing red as she reads about his bedroom skills. She is trying to focus on her pasta, but the reviews from girls like Yoon Lee are saying he is only good for one thing. This guy is a literal danger zone. One review calls him a pretty piece of trash who cheated on her while gifting her underwear.
Giju is starting to realize that Jimin might have been a small-time crook, but Hale is a high-stakes player.
She is considering taking the ring off just to escape the mental scarring of reading all these details. But then, she peeks at one more review and sees a name that makes her heart stop, Gaeong Song. Wait a minute, Gaeong Song? That is Jimin's ex. What is her name doing in Hale's review list?
Giju realizes that both of her trash ex's previous victims might have crossed paths with the campus idol.
The Gaeong Song review is buried under a mountain of other pop-ups. Giju is frantically trying to figure out how to read it, but there is too much digital clutter in the way. She is reaching out into thin air like a lunatic. And then, the ultimate discovery, she can physically touch and move the pop-ups. She starts flailing around, swiping the other reviews aside like she is in a sci-fi movie. Hale is watching her with a look that says, "Is she okay?" She finally finds it. Both Gaeong Song and Jae-hi Kim have left reviews for Hale. This is not a coincidence, it is a pattern. Both of the women Jimin abused were also involved with Hale. The world is getting very, very small.
Giju realizes these women must be students from their school.
This is the breakthrough she needed. If she can get their numbers, she can finally get the evidence to destroy Jimin's reputation for good. In her excitement, Giju accidentally grabs Hale's hand across the table. She is staring at him with a look of pure intensity, and Hale is actually looking a bit flustered. The tables have officially turned. Giju drops the bomb and asks if he knows Gaeong Song and Jae-hi Kim. She tells him she really needs their numbers. She is using his secret as leverage to get the intel she needs for her revenge tour. Hale admits he knows them, but he does not have their numbers on hand. He flashes a grin that says he knows exactly what she is up to.
He agrees to help, but he is already thinking about what he wants from her in return.
This game is just getting started. Hae Yun is finally handing over the phone numbers Giju needs, but Mr. Perfect always has a price. He is collecting a favor for later, and Giju is so fueled by revenge that she agrees to whatever mystery debt this campus idol is cooking up. Fast forward 1 week and the university is in a total frenzy because director Mun is in the house. He is a literal legend in the theater world and he is here to scout our resident trash heap, Jimin, for a career-making role. Jimin is out here acting like he is already a Hollywood star, comparing himself to the greats while soaking up all the attention. The audacity of this guy to act like a humble saint when he is actually just a leech is honestly impressive. Audition time. Jimin steps on stage for the performance of his life. He is oozing that fake good guy charm that he used to trap Giju, ready to join the elite Wolha theater troupe and leave his pushover past behind. Mid-performance, Jimin spots Giju in the audience and his ego goes into overdrive.
He thinks she is there because she is still obsessed with him, and he is eager to show her what she is missing out on now that he is a star.
He is giving it his all on stage, convinced he is an absolute legend. He wants to prove his worth to the girl he looked down on, but he has no idea he is actually walking into a lethal trap set by the very women he broke. The doors are kicked open and the entire room freezes. Jimin's superstar fantasy is about to turn into a public execution because Giju isn't alone, she has brought a whole squad of his victims with her. Jimin's face goes pale as he sees Gaeong Song and Jae-hi Kim marching toward the stage. Giju doesn't waste a second, telling director Mun that casting this man would be a total failure of judgment and a disaster for his troupe. The staff tries to act like security is coming, but these women are on a mission. They have bypassed every lock and guard just to get a front row seat to Jimin's downfall. The atmosphere in the theater is explosive. Giju warns the director that casting Jimin means inviting chaos into his troupe. Meanwhile, Jimin is cowering as Jae-hye Kim looms over him like an avenging angel. The James Dean of Art School is currently vibrating with actual terror. Jimin tries to act like the victim, but Jae-hye is just cracking her knuckles. She reveals that she used to hold back because she didn't want to kill him with her professional strength, but those days of restraint are officially over. Meet the Taekwondo master. Jae-hye makes it clear that since she quit her pro career, she has zero reason to show mercy. She is about to show Jimin exactly what happens when you treat a national athlete like a punching bag.
Gaeong-seong joins the party, reminding Jimin of the pain and fear he caused her.
She has been waiting for this moment of retribution, and she has brought some specialized tools for her specific brand of revenge.
Jimin actually thinks getting hit by the tiny Gaeong will be easier than the athlete Jae-hye, but he is dead wrong.
Gaeong spent 5 hours filing her nails, just to scratch the truth right out of his fake actor skin.
The audience is in shock, but nobody is moving to save the pretty boy. Jimin is getting slashed and poked in front of his entire department, and he finally has the stones to ask if they came to ruin his career. He tries to play the professionalism card, calling their behavior rude and claiming personal lives don't matter on stage. Gaeong just laughs in his face. Respect is earned, not given to parasites who beat women. Giju pulls out the receipts. She shows everyone the private notes where Jimin mocked his exes for being cool enough to take his punches. The director is seeing the real Jimin now, and it is a total horror show. She makes it clear that this isn't just personal drama, it is a massive liability. Casting a violent monster is a death sentence for the troupe's reputation. The legendary director Mun is finally seeing the red flags. Giju points to the industry standards, showing how ticket sales die when actors have personal scandals. She is dismantling his future brick by brick right in front of the man who was about to make him famous. She brings up Haryun, the actress who almost took the troupe down with her own scandals. It is a professional checkmate. Director Mun knows he can't afford another public relations disaster like this trash man.
Jimin is in full-blown panic, screaming that everyone is lying and that his exes are just acting out of spite.
He is desperately trying to claw back his dignity, but his mask has already been shredded to pieces. He even tries to frame Giju, claiming she was the violent one. He is reaching for any lie that might stick, attempting to manipulate the director's own history with rumors to win a shred of sympathy. Jimin bows low, begging the director not to make him another victim of malicious rumors.
He is smirking at Giju, thinking his acting skills can still save him.
The narcissism is truly off the charts at this point. Director Mun has heard enough. The room goes silent as he prepares to give his verdict. Jimin's entire future is hanging by a single thread, and Giju is ready to watch it snap. The revenge tour is just getting started. Jimin is putting on the performance of a lifetime, but it's not the monologue director Mun asked for. He is begging the director to ignore the malicious rumors, acting like a tragic hero whose career is being destroyed by a simple mistake. The desperation is real, folks.
Director Mun is a pro, and he's not easily swayed by tears.
He acknowledges that this role is a make-or-break moment for any actor, but he drops a cold truth: making accusations without evidence is a serious crime.
He is ready to wrap this up unless someone can provide actual receipts.
Jimin thinks he's won.
He smirks, demanding proof because he's certain no one was there to see his mask slip. But Giju is just standing there, looking like she's got the winning hand in a high-stakes poker game. The trap is officially set. Giju flashes back to the moment this coward tried to gaslight her. Jimin actually had the nerve to tell her that no one would believe a pushover who paid his rent just to get beat up.
He thought her reputation as a doormat was his ultimate shield.
Surprise! Giju pulls out her phone and reveals the one thing Jimin never saw coming, a full recording of their violent confrontation from a week ago. The look on his face is priceless. He just watched his entire future go up in digital smoke. Here is the real plot twist: Hail Yun was the secret cameraman. He filmed the whole argument and offered the video to Giju so she could have her absolute revenge. Mr. 0.5 stars might be a mystery, but he's definitely playing on Giju's team today. Flashback to 1 week before the audition. Giju met up with the squad, Jihai and Gaeong, to coordinate the ultimate takedown. These women were stunned that Giju knew their secrets because they had never told a soul about the pain Jimin caused them.
Through the digital reviews, Giju realized Jimin's sick pattern. He purposefully targeted women he thought were too timid or cool to ever speak out against him.
He didn't want lovers, he wanted victims who wouldn't bark back.
The ex-girlfriends shared their stories of betrayal and shared shame.
They all agreed on one thing: letting a monster like Jimin become a famous star would only lead to more women suffering. The alliance was forged in fire. Back to the present, and director Mun has seen enough. He delivers a verdict that is a literal death sentence for Jimin's career. He tells the trash man that he will remember his name specifically to ensure he is never, ever hired in this industry again. Jimin's dreams are officially in the gutter.
He completely snaps, screaming at Giju and asking how she could steal such a massive opportunity from him.
The narcissism is incredible, he's still acting like he's the victim here. He loses all control and tries to lunge at Giju, calling her every name in the book. But the squad is ready. Jihai and Gaeong intercept him instantly, showing him that his days of bullying women are over. And then, the campus idol himself steps in. Hae Yun grabs Jimin's arm with a grip of steel, giving him a look that could freeze a volcano. He sternly warns the coward to never lay a finger on Giju again unless he wants to see the dark side of a golden boy. Giju remains the coldest person in the room. She stares at her ex and tells him that what goes around comes around. Her days of being his human ATM and punching bag are officially retired. She drops the final, stinging insult that will haunt him forever: garbage like him is only meant to be stepped on and thrown out. She walks out of that theater with her head high while Jimin is left vibrating in his own failure. In the aftermath of the public scandal, Jimin does the only thing a coward knows how to do: he runs away. He takes a leave of absence from the university, hoping the world will forget his face, but that recording is forever. Rumors are flying across campus like crazy. Some people are actually calling Giju a red flag collector, judging her for making such a massive scene in front of director Mun. But our girl? She has zero regrets.
She realizes that without the reviews, she would have just taken the abuse in silence like she always did.
The scene she caused wasn't just for her, it was a public service announcement for every student on campus.
Giju looks at the ring that reminds her so much of Jimin. She thought about throwing it away, but then she realizes the power it gives her is too valuable to lose.
Why fly blind when you can see everyone's secrets? She decides to keep the magical ring. From now on, she's not dating anyone unless they have a decent 5-star rating. Her doormat era is dead, and her reviewer era has officially begun. But there's a major flaw in her plan. Despite her vow to avoid low-rated men, she finds herself getting more and more tangled up with the king of red flags himself, Hae Yun. Why is the guy with the lowest rating the only one she can't look away from? Hae is a total enigma. He's rich, polite, and handsome, yet the digital windows label him as a Casanova who ghosts women after unforgettable nights. Is he really a monster, or is there a reason for his half-star rating? Giju is at a crossroads.
She can see everyone's black and white truth, but Hae is the only one who feels like a mystery worth solving.
The ring shows the past, but can it predict her future with the campus star? She watches Hae from a distance, feeling a pull she can't explain. He helped her destroy Jimin, but what will he ask for in return? The favor he mentioned is still hanging over her head like a guillotine.
As Giju stares at the reviews of the people around her, she realizes the world is a lot darker than she ever imagined.
But with the ring on her finger and her squad at her back, she's ready to face whatever red flags are coming next. The game is just getting started. Giju is officially the department's superstar after her grand prize win, but fame in this university comes with a steep price tag. Her classmates aren't just congratulate her, they're practically demanding she drains her bank account to buy them all dinner. The rumor mill is already working overtime, with people saying anyone Giju dates is doomed to fail.
She tries to brush it off, but deep down, she's wondering if she's actually a magnet for bad luck.
Just when things couldn't get more awkward, her phone buzzes with a notification that would make anyone blush. The sexy lingerie set she ordered for her 100-day anniversary trip has finally been delivered. Talk about bad timing. The irony is hitting her like a freight train. She spent a fortune on black lace for a man like Jimin, who turned out to be a total piece of human garbage. Now she's rushing home to hide the evidence of her temporary insanity. Giju is sprinting through the streets like she's in a track meet, ignoring everyone who calls her name. She needs to get that package off her doorstep before a nosy neighbor starts asking questions. She reaches her door at Unit 401, panting and ready to snag her prize, but the hallway is empty. The text said it arrived hours ago, so where is the spicy delivery? She checks her phone again, hoping it was just a delay, but the delivery photo shows a box sitting outside a very familiar-looking door. Something is definitely wrong here.
A quick check of her order history confirms her worst fear.
In her haste to fund her ex-Trash's life, she typed Unit 402 instead of 401. She just sent her private items to her neighbor's house. This is officially the most embarrassing moment of her life. She's rummaging through the hallway, desperately hoping the neighbor hasn't returned yet. But Unit 402 is looking very much inhabited. She's clinging to the hope that the discreet packaging kept her secret safe.
The shop promised the box would look like a harmless book, but the very, very hot for you brand name is still haunting her thoughts.
She has no choice. She has to knock on that door and reclaim her property before things get even weirder. She's bracing herself for a random stranger, but the universe is about to pull the ultimate prank. She takes a deep breath and hits the doorbell. "Who is it?" a voice calls out. Giju stammers that she's the neighbor from next door, her heart hammering against her ribs like a trapped bird. The door opens and her brain short-circuits. It's not a stranger, it's Hale Yun, the campus star and literal golden boy. And to make it worse, he's standing there completely shirtless. Of all the neighbors in the world, why did the guy she's been trying to avoid have to be the one holding her scandalous mail? Hale invites her in, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Giju is trying to act natural, but her eyes are doing laps around his abs while she tries to explain her presence. She's rambling about packages and wrong units, sounding like a total lunatic. Hale isn't letting her off easy. He holds up a package and asks why it was delivered to him if it really belongs to her. He's looking at the label, and Giju is praying he doesn't see anything suspicious. He's remarkably skeptical, pointing out there's no recipient name on the label. He's assuming it's his because the address matches his door perfectly. Giju is currently living out her own nightmare. Hale claims he ordered a book titled Origins of Philosophy and assumes this is it.
Giju is internally screaming because she knows there isn't a single word of philosophy inside that box.
Then he drops the ultimate bombshell: "Why don't we just open it and see?" Giju tries to stop him, but her voice is caught in her throat. This is the moment her dignity officially dies. R.I.P. to her secrets. The tape is ripped open and the black lace spills out right onto Hale's floor. The silence in the room is deafening as the campus idol stares at the very unphilosophical contents. Hale doesn't even look shocked. He just smirks and tells her she's a very straightforward person. It's a total roast, and Giju wants to melt into the floorboards and disappear forever. She's paralyzed with shame, trying to explain that she normally doesn't wear this kind of stuff and it was for a special occasion.
Hale just keeps that smug grin on his face, enjoying every second of her suffering.
"Special occasion?" he asks.
He's wondering if she's already found a replacement for her trash ex, or if she's just a secret Casanova herself.
Giju is stumbling over her words like she's forgotten how to speak English. She snatches her box and bolts for the door, practically tripping over her own feet to escape the most awkward encounter in history. But Hale has one more surprise for her before she's gone. He mentions the announcement on the department group chat. Giju's classmates have already declared it's a celebration dinner tonight, and she's the one expected to pick up the tab for everyone. With a final, devastatingly cool comment, Hale tells her to make sure she leaves her new purchase at home before heading out to the bar. Our girl is currently a walking tomato. She's back in her room, staring at her phone in a daze. Her victory has turned into a total disaster of social debt and scandalous laundry. This is not the grand prize winner's life she imagined.
As she prepares for a night of hosting, she realizes Hale might be more involved in her life than she thought.
Is the golden boy actually a stalker, or just the luckiest neighbor on the planet? Stay tuned. The party is in full swing, but Giju feels like she's in a pressure cooker. Her classmates are out here acting like scavengers, demanding a massive dinner just because she won a contest. It's a congratulations dinner where Giju's bank account is the only victim. Hale Yun is sitting right in front of her, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a credit card.
Giju's social anxiety is peaking, but she's not thinking about the food. She's thinking about how to get away from this 0.5-star danger zone.
Hale tries to play the hero, offering to pay because he's the one who lured half the department here.
He thinks he's being a gracious senior, but to Giju, it's just another favor she can't afford to owe.
Giju isn't having it. She's obsessed with her tenfold repayment rule. She wants to pay for everyone to officially cut the strings binding her to the campus golden boy. She doesn't want his pity or his money. She's as stubborn as a mule, making it clear she's not interested in his friendly gestures. The classmates are watching the drama unfold, probably ready to post about Giju's attitude problem on Instagram. Giju drops the ultimate ice bomb. She tells Hale straight to his face that she'd rather pay the bill just to end their involvement once and for all. Talk about a public frostbite rejection in front of the whole department. The table goes dead silent. Even the great Hale Yun looks awkward now. Her friends are actually calling her out, asking why she's being so cold to a guy who's done nothing but help her. Overwhelmed by the social judgment and the whispers, Giju bolts for the restroom. She needs to splash some water on her face and escape the radioactive atmosphere she just created. She's losing it in the restroom. How can a guy so helpful and polite have a rating lower than her violent ex? She's convinced Hale must be hiding a truly rotten interior beneath that perfect model face. She decides to trust the digital red flags over her own eyes. Her plan is simple: pay for the tables, say something came up, and ghost Hale as casually as possible. Survive and advance, that's the goal. Giju reaches the counter to settle up, but her friends intercept her with some major tea. Apparently, something went down while she was gone, and it's not about the bill, it's about her past. The gossip turns to Pyo, the serial cheater who dragged Giju's name through the mud. He told everyone she was an obsessive stalker, just to cover up his own messy infidelities. The classmates are debating if Giju was truly a victim or if she's just a pro at acting like one. It turns out people's memories are as filtered as their social media profiles. Flashback time.
A wasted Pyo runs into Hale on the street, thinking they're still bros.
He actually begs Hale to tell Giju to unblock him, admitting that all his rumors about her were total lies. Pyo calls Giju an easy mark, laughing about how he played everyone.
Hale's face goes cold. He's not just listening, he's recording the truth to protect the girl who just rejected him.
Hale didn't just stay quiet, he cleared Giju's honor in front of everyone.
The classmates finally realized they were played by a serial cheater, all thanks to the guy Giju's been treating like a villain.
Giju is dumbfounded. Why would Hale go to such lengths for her? She tries to pay at the counter, only to find out the gentleman in the black jacket already settled the entire check. Hale swiped his card and defended her rep.
Giju realizes she's now deeper in debt than ever before.
Her plan to escape him just backfired in the most expensive way possible. Just as she's about to sneak out, Jua drops a bombshell. She's drunk and publicly asking Hale out. The whole bar is leaning in, dying for a confession scene.
Hale's reviews reveal the disturbing truth. He doesn't turn you down when you ask him out. The campus idol isn't a player, he's a social hostage who doesn't know how to say no.
Hale is physically trembling and sweating bullets. He's trapped by the crowd's expectations, unable to voice the rejection he clearly wants to give. It's a total mental breakdown in slow motion. Jua presents the ultimate trap: if you drink this shot, you're dating me. The crowd is chanting, and Hale's hand is shaking as he reaches for the bottle. He's about to lose his freedom. Giju can't just stand there.
She realizes his 0.5 rating is because he lets people walk all over him.
Time for the ultimate pushover to save the campus idol. Black Rose Giju to the rescue. She snatches the bottle and gulps the shot in one go, shocking the entire bar. Consider my debts repaid. She drops the mic and walks out, finally even with the golden boy. Boom. Our girl Giju just pulled the ultimate Black Rose move, snatching a bottle of soju and chugging it down to save the campus idol from a public confession disaster. She's not just drinking, she's buying Hale's freedom with her own liver. Hale is staring at her like she's officially lost it, and the crowd is whispering. Giju's excuse? She claims Jua is way too drunk and needs a filter. But we all know it's her crazy tenfold repayment rule working overtime. Jua tries to act tough, stomping around and claiming she's fine, but gravity wins this round. She goes down like a sack of potatoes right into Giju's arms. Talk about a dramatic exit for the girl who almost forced a relationship. The drama is dead, and the classmates are low-key salty about it. They were hoping for a spicy new campus couple to gossip about, but Giju just shut the whole production down. Everyone's told to head back to their seats before things get weirder. Sang-sun isn't letting this sacrifice go to waste.
She reminds the group that since Giju played the Black Rose, Hale now owes her a wish.
The campus idol is officially on the hook, and the whole room is dying to hear the price. Hale looks trapped, but Giju just wants a way out.
She's internally screaming for an exit strategy while the department stares them down.
This isn't a wish, it's a social hostage situation. Eureka! Giju's wish is simple. Hale needs to buy ice cream for everyone to sober them up.
It's the perfect get-out-of-jail-free card for both of them, and the crowd is more than happy to get a free treat.
The wingmen are working hard tonight, insisting Hale can't carry all that ice cream alone. They force Giju to go with him, turning a grocery run into a private, moonlit walk. The tension is radiating off the pavement. While they walk, Hale finally breaks the silence. He asks if she stepped in because she saw he was uncomfortable. Giju admits it was all about the debt, repaying him for Jimin, BM, and the bill. Talk about a clinical way to ruin a moment. Hale notices he's finally stopped shaking.
The relief is visible, and he's looking at Giju with a whole new perspective.
But she's still stuck on why the campus golden boy was so flustered by a simple confession. Hale drops a logic bomb that makes Giju's brain short-circuit.
He actually thought he'd have to date Jua just because he'd feel too bad saying no.
Our girl is officially dumbfounded by his total lack of a backbone. Giju can't believe it. Refusing someone isn't a crime, but dating them out of pity is a life sentence. She tells him straight up that dating someone out of guilt is a massive waste of time and energy for everyone involved.
She drops some cold hard truths. Being in a pity relationship is an awful thing to do to the other person, and it's even worse for yourself.
You're left with nothing but a fake life and total exhaustion. Hale is actually impressed.
He realizes Giju is way smarter than she looks, which totally flips his first impression of her.
He's staring at her like he's seeing her for the first time without the doormat filter. Flashback time. Hale remembers seeing Giju's name on a grand prize certificate at a professor's office.
He realized the girl everyone mocked was actually a hidden genius with a pen.
He recalls visiting Giju Soup and Rice and seeing the owner's daughter in action.
But it wasn't a hero moment. It was a scene of total submission that made him think she was a complete fool.
A scummy customer pulls the oldest trick in the book, claiming there's a hair in his food to dodge the check. Giju's mom is yelling, but Giju is already stepping into the line of fire to settle the drama. Giju doesn't fight. She just bows her head and offers the meal for free. Even though the lie is obvious, she'd rather lose money than cause a scene.
Hale is watching from the corner, thinking she's a pathetic pushover.
The liar dashes out with a free lunch, and Giju is left apologizing to nothing. Her first impression on Hale was that of a blind fool who'd let anyone step on her just to keep the peace. Giju's mom actually slaps her for being such a fool, sick of her daughter feeding every liar for free. Giju just wants to dock the cost from her own pay, showing a level of self-sacrifice that's almost painful to watch. Back to the present, Giju admits she always ends up in these ridiculous situations.
She calls herself a fool, wondering if she's the actual reason why weirdos are constantly drawn to her like moths to a flame.
The self-pity is real, but Hale has heard enough. He stops her right there and offers comfort she never expected. He firmly tells her that there is nothing wrong with her, and she shouldn't carry the blame for what weirdos do. Giju freezes. Nobody has ever told her it wasn't her fault. In a world that always calls her the problem, Hale's words are hitting like a freight train.
The tears start falling before she can even blink. She's crying over ice cream in the middle of the street, totally overwhelmed.
Hale's voice is sounding way more reassuring than a 0.5-star rating has any right to be. Our girl is officially vulnerable. Flash. The system kicks in with a major update. Notification: affection level has increased. Giju is staring at her own eyes reflecting the screen. New information about Hale Yun is now available. The ring is working overtime today. It reveals that Giju is officially his person of interest. Our girl might have just traded one red flag for a much bigger, much more handsome one. The system just dropped the ultimate bombshell. Giju is staring at a new notification that's flashing like a neon sign in her brain. It officially labels her as Hale Yun's person of interest.
Our girl is spiraling, wondering why this specific pop-up is appearing now.
Is it a reflection of her own rising affection for the campus star?
Hale's grin isn't helping her blood pressure at all.
Interest? What kind of interest are we talking about here?
Giju is hesitant, her mind racing with a million questions.
Meanwhile, Hale is just acting like everything is normal, asking if they should head back to the group. She can't stop staring at the screen. Why did a new pop-up appear when she never saw one like this before? It's like the ring is evolving along with her feelings. Giju actually has to slap herself to snap out of it.
She reminds herself that Mr.
Perfect has a half-star rating for a reason. She can't let her guard down just because he said a few nice things. She decides to go full avoidance mode.
She's scribbling over the word interest in her mind, determined to stay away from the 0.5-star danger zone.
Her focus shifts when her friends mention Professor Lim's mentorship program. This is the ultimate career opportunity. Lim is the king of the playwriting department and his classes are a literal myth.
Giju realizes that signing up for the program means direct feedback from the professor himself.
It's an academic goldmine that she can't afford to pass up, especially with her goals. Her friends tease her that it's just a dating program in disguise, bringing up stories of how they met their exes through it. Giju is determined to keep it strictly professional, though. She's counting down the seconds until signups open. Professor Lim is the heart of the department, and Giju needs his approval to make it to the next level. Baitum baitum. The mentorship orientation is here, but Giju freezes when she hears a very familiar name. Hale Yun is apparently joining the program too. Giju is in total disbelief. Why would a rich, popular kid like Hale voluntarily sign up to babysit a bunch of freshmen? Her misconceptions about him are being challenged at every turn. Morning attendance time. The room is packed, mostly with girls who only showed up for one person. And who is leading the session alongside Professor Lim? None other than Hale Yun. Hale starts taking attendance while the professor runs late. Every name he calls sounds like a love letter to the girls in the front row. He pauses when he gets to Giju's name. The warmth in his voice when he calls Giju Gong draws eyes from everyone in the lecture hall. Our girl is officially the target of some very jealous stares. Hale even reaches out to greet her personally, saying it's nice to see her. Giju is trapped in her seat, feeling the sticky atmosphere of the room. She stammers out a greeting, trying to stay invisible. She didn't sign up for this kind of public attention. Jua chooses this exact moment to cling to Hale's side, acting like she's already his girlfriend after her public confession. Hale handles it with his usual doormat politeness. The program is a massive success this year, with a record number of participants. Everyone is assigned a personal mentor to help them navigate the campus jungle. Hale explains the upcoming writing contest for teams of 2. Mentors are supposed to guide their ments to victory. The meeting ends and Hale is instantly swarmed by girls begging for advice.
Giju watches the chaos and realizes this program is a one-way ticket to disaster.
She decides to quit right then and there. No academic feedback is worth being stuck in Hail Yun's orbit for an entire semester. She heads to the professor's office to drop out.
She claims she joined with the wrong mindset and apologizes for wasting his time.
The professor is chill about it, but as Giju leaves, she walks right into a waiting Hail. He's been waiting for her, and he looks like he's ready for a real talk. Hail cuts to the chase. Are you dropping out because of me? He knows she's been uncomfortable ever since the bar incident. Hail claims he noticed her trying to leave the bar early.
He thinks she's just embarrassed about her past, having zero clue about the digital reviews Giju is actually seeing.
Hail urges her not to let her personal feelings ruin her academic career.
He thinks he's being supportive, while Giju is fighting the urge to scream about his rating.
Giju realizes he's completely misreading her.
She's blunt with him. Yes, you make me uncomfortable. She claims he saw too many of her embarrassing moments. Then Hail notices the ring on her finger. He recognizes it as the cheap vendor piece from her ex, Jimin. He mocks the tacky design, asking if she still has feelings for the abusive jerk. Giju is fuming, unable to tell him the ring is her magical lie detector. The argument ends with a shocking update from the ring. A new rule reveals that hidden info about Hail will unlock as their affection level rises. Talk about a cliffhanger.
Our girl Giju is officially losing her chill, screaming at the top of her lungs that her favorite ring has zero connection to her trashy ex-boyfriend Jimin.
She claims she bought this piece of jewelry with her own hard-earned money and is tired of being labeled a doormat. But Hail Yun isn't backing down, leaning in with a gaze that could melt steel and asking why she is so desperate to deny their connection. The tension is radiating off the screen until a squad of noisy seniors crashes their private standoff. Giju finds herself pulled into a group gathering where the tea is already boiling. The seniors are obsessed with the gossip about campus couples forming during the mentoring program, making Giju feel like she walked into a trap. Senior Kihyun arrives and the meal begins, with everyone turning their spotlight on Giju. One of the seniors admits she's never dated through the program and immediately starts digging into Giju's messy romantic history. The roast session is in full swing as the group mocks Giju's very predictable taste in men. They laugh about how she fell for her last boyfriend just because he looked intellectual while holding a prop book. Giju gets defensive and tries to lecture them on the philosophy of reading. She argues that a person's choice of books reveals their true character, but she is mostly just trying to save face while everyone smirks. She starts rambling about how knowledge makes communication easier, sounding like she's giving a dissertation rather than a dinner chat.
Then she notices Hail watching her silently and realizes she is totally over-explaining herself.
Suddenly, Hail acts like a total troll by leaning in and complaining that his head feels heavy. He claims it's because his brain is so full of the knowledge Giju finds so attractive, making everyone at the table drop their jaws. The awkward vibe gets even worse when Kihyun assumes Hail and Giju are actually on a private date.
The campus rumor mill is churning out fresh content and Giju is currently in a state of high alert panic. Giju starts screaming a total denial, insisting they are only together because of the group dinner.
She is protesting so hard that it actually makes her look way more guilty to her classmates. Jua joins the party and Kihyun decides to play matchmaker for the single ladies. He suggests a blind date with some younger guys he brought along from his old academy, setting the stage for more chaos. Giju tries to back out, but Kihyun has zero sense of personal space. He starts touching her shoulder and invading her personal bubble in a way that makes her skin crawl and the viewers cringe. Before Giju can snap, Hail makes a boss move by firmly grabbing Kihyun's hand. He tells the senior to use his words instead of being a creep, effectively saving Giju from a very uncomfortable situation. As the two men have a silent standoff, Giju's eyes wander to the blind date candidates. Suddenly, the system flashes a notification above a guy named Baek Jangmi, and Giju's life is about to change forever. For the first time since getting her power, she is staring at a perfect 5-star rating.
The glowing label says perfect love, and Giju realizes she is looking at a literal unicorn in a world of red flags.
Kihyun is still pushing the date, arguing it's the best way to get over her ex. Hail tries to stop the pressure, but Giju is already hypnotized by those 5 golden stars hovering in the air. Kwang. Giju slams her hand on the table with enough force to shock the entire department. The visual effect confirms she has finally reached her breaking point and made a decision. She shouts at the top of her lungs that she is going on that blind date. Her internal monologue reveals that while she isn't ready to date, a 5-star man is a chance she can't let pass. Giju concludes that this is a heaven-sent opportunity to finally meet a truly good person. She refuses to stay in the trash-tier dating pool when a guaranteed winner is right in front of her. The group decides to dive straight into a first impression game to kick things off. Everyone prepares to point at the person they find the most attractive at the count of 3. The countdown begins. Giju is locked on her target, her heart hammering like a drum against her ribs. She is praying that her choice aligns with the system's perfect rating. The air is thick with anticipation as the group counts down to the final moment. Giju is ready to bet everything on this 5-star gamble, ignoring the side eyes from her friends. 3, 2, 1, point. Fingers are flying across the table as everyone makes their move. Giju is going all in, but the real mystery is who Hae Yun is pointing at in this room full of secrets.
Our girl Giju is officially done being a bystander and screams at the top of her lungs that she is taking the blind date gamble. She is tossing her common sense into the trash because she is currently staring at a literal 5-star miracle hovering over a stranger's head.
While the rest of the group is losing their minds with excitement, Giju is focused on the target, Baek Jang-mi, the owner of that elusive perfect love rating.
She feels like the universe finally gave her a cheat code to avoid the trash-tier men of her past. The hype is immediately killed when Hae Yun acts like a total ice king, announcing his sudden exit for some professor meeting.
He leaves with a clatter, making Giju wonder if she actually poked the bear or if the campus idol is just naturally dramatic.
Jua doesn't skip a beat and starts roasting the nom then, suggesting he is just acting like a grumpy toddler.
She thinks it is hilarious that the girl who was just chasing him is already moving on to a younger, higher-rated model.
A few days later and the big day is finally here with the blind date squad assembling in full force. Giju is introduced to the chaotic energy of the younger students, including the bubbly Jua and the main event, the polite Mo Min-jae. The group decides to skip the boring small talk and jump straight into a first impression pointing game.
Giju is internally screaming as the vibe shifts from 0 to 60, forcing her to make a split-second decision on her future.
Meet Mo Min-jae, the 20-year-old junior who is looking remarkably like the 5-star savior Giju needs. Giju is trying to maintain her cool older sister facade while her brain is currently running on pure anxiety and hope. The pressure in the room is rising as the group prepares to point fingers and claim their favorites. Giju is having a midlife crisis because she hasn't even had a proper conversation yet, and she's terrified of picking another lemon. She is worried about looking like a total amateur, but she knows she has to lock in her target. The countdown is starting, and Giju is praying that her special study session from the night before actually pays off. Speaking of study sessions, our girl actually stayed up all night memorizing 20 surefire blind date phrases just to survive the social pressure. She's got the strategies locked and loaded so she doesn't end up as the evening's total dud. 1, 2, 3, point.
The air in the bar is thick with tension until Giju realizes her pointing game worked out perfectly.
She has officially matched with the high-rated Mo Min-jae, and the relief is hitting her like a tidal wave.
The new pairs are splitting up to catch some real vibes, and Min-jae drops a wholesome bombshell by suggesting a bookstore for their date. Giju is stunned that this 5-star man actually wants to do something other than go to a noisy club. At the bookstore, Min-jae is already winning the championship by telling Giju to drop the formal honorifics since he's younger. He's leading the conversation with a natural ease that makes Giju feel like she can finally breathe again. The bonding gets intense when they dive into the shelves and find out they both obsess over the same writer, Wei-in.
Giju is geeking out, thinking she's finally found a guy who actually respects her mind instead of her bank account.
Things are going way too well until Min-jae points out a specific web novel that supposedly changed his life. He starts gushing about a story called Crazy Love Slave, and Giju's soul practically leaves her body through her eyes. Plot twist alert. Giju is the secret author of that exact same spicy internet novel. She is currently experiencing a level of second-hand embarrassment that could power a small city as she hears him praise her secret work. Giju is begging for a quick death because she is so mortified by the genre she used to write under a secret pen name. She remembers her debut and how she forced everyone to keep her identity a secret just to save face in the real world.
She looks back at her disaster of a dating history and realizes a disturbing pattern in her life.
Every toxic relationship she has ever had, from the psycho senior panther to the abuser Jimin, all started because they read her work.
Giju realizes she's been accidentally handing out the keys to her heart to every manipulator who appreciated her writing talent.
She's been mistaking professional appreciation for actual romantic compatibility this whole time. She reflects on how she's been a total doormat for men who just wanted to use her creative brain.
But looking at Min Jae, she realizes his interest feels different because the system is actually backing him up with those stars.
Our girl finally concludes that her real ideal type is simply a man who genuinely likes her stories without the toxic baggage. Min Jae fits the profile perfectly, and Giju decides this is her heaven-sent chance to get things right. Stealing her nerves, Giju reaches out and grabs Min Jae's sleeve to ask for his phone number. She is ready to pursue a relationship that finally feels authentic, but her bold moment is about to be absolutely hijacked. Her eyes lock onto a familiar face in the bookstore, and it is none other than Hae Yun holding a copy of her secret book.
Giju is left frozen in shock, wondering why the 0.5-star idol is stalking her date spot and what he wants with her secret.
Imagine your biggest, most embarrassing secret being outed by the campus idol in the middle of a bookstore. Giju is currently having a soul-leaving body moment because Hae just revealed that her spicy web novel is his absolute favorite book of all time. The vibe goes from zero to awkward real fast when Hae starts acting like a total brat toward Giju's blind date, Min Jae. Poor Min Jae doesn't even remember meeting the senior before, but the air is so thick with jealousy you could cut it with a page-turner. The date hits a dead end when Min Jae gets an urgent call and has to bolt early. He's genuinely worried about Giju though, noting that her face is looking a bit feverish after that surprise encounter with the campus idol. Before disappearing, Min Jae promises a round 2 meal to make up for the short date, leaving Giju in a daze. Meanwhile, Hae is still lurking in the background with a cynical smirk, questioning if the junior was just trying to secure a second date. Giju tries to make a break for the exit, but she spots Hae looking like a lost puppy in the gift section. It turns out Professor Lim dumped the job of buying freshman welcome gifts on him, and the poor guy has no idea what he's doing. Giju drops some basic knowledge. Nobody wants heavy study materials when they could have snacks and trendy accessories.
Hae looks skeptical, wondering if a bag of chips really helps with grades, but he finally starts taking her practical advice seriously.
As they shop, Giju sees a side of the golden boy that the fan clubs never catch. He's actually putting in real effort to pick the perfect items, proving that beneath that 0.5-star rating, he might actually care about people. Despite Giju's best efforts to say goodbye, Hae insists on playing the gentleman and walking her all the way home. He claims it's just a thank you for her shopping expertise, but the tension on the sidewalk says otherwise. Right before they part ways, he hands her a small package. He secretly bought the exact same cute item she pointed out earlier, proving that the campus idol actually pays attention when he's not being snarky. Giju is currently fighting a war with her own feelings, trying to convince herself that he's just a professional flirt. She tells herself his kindness is just a side effect of his massive dating history and definitely not genuine affection. The drama hits peak levels when Min Jae joins the group, looking like a betrayed hero. He accuses Giju of being a dirty two-timer for hanging out with Hae the second their blind date ended. Jua is leading the charge with the malicious gossip, claiming Giju only sabotaged her confession because she wanted the idol for herself. The crowd is eating it up, mocking Giju's character and calling her a calculated snake. Just as the humiliation reaches the point of no return, a familiar tall figure steps into the circle of haters. The atmosphere freezes as Hae Yun makes his entrance, looking ready to burn the whole campus rumor mill to the ground. Hae drops a nuke on the conversation, shocking the entire group by declaring that he was actually the one who asked Giju out. He effectively shuts down the two-timer narrative by claiming her as his own person of interest right in front of the people trying to ruin her life. Hale Yun just dropped a literal nuke on the entire department by announcing he was the one who asked our girl Giju out on a date. The crowd is currently in a state of absolute shock because nobody expected the campus idol to chase after the girl everyone used to treat like a doormat. Before the rumors could grow wings and fly, Hale quickly pivots and clarifies that it was just a mentoring extension for a shopping trip. He needed Giju's expertise to pick out gifts for the freshmen because his own taste in presents is apparently non-existent. He admits he was struggling because his previous attempts at gift-giving involved handing out heavy, dry academic books that the students absolutely hated. Imagine getting a massive philosophy textbook as a welcome gift. Hale is a literal robot and a handsome man is body. The classmates are relieved to hear it wasn't a romantic date, but they are not letting Hale off easy for being so clueless. They are already roasting him for being so out of touch with what younger students actually want, making our campus star look like a total boomer. Giju is actually impressed by how effortlessly Hale managed to silence the judgmental stares and clear up the misunderstanding about her character. For the first time, she sees the benefit of having a Casanova in her corner to manage the school is gossip mill. Feeling a rare sense of gratitude, Giju thanks him for the save, and Hale doesn't waste a single second. He immediately seizes the moment to ask her for a meal together as a proper thank you, effectively keeping her in his orbit.
Our girl is starting to reconsider her low opinion of him, wondering if the 0.5-star Casanova isn't as bad as the system originally warned.
She decides to stop running and fully commit to the mentoring program, feeling a mix of nerves and high-stakes excitement. Giju is currently checking the new seating chart for the one-on-one pairings, praying she doesn't get stuck with a total weirdo mentee. Orientation is officially in full swing and the energy in the lecture hall is shifting towards something much more chaotic. Suddenly, the room falls dead silent as a stunningly handsome freshman walks in, looking like he just stepped off a luxury fashion runway. Everyone is whispering that this kid is actually the son of world-famous actors, and the visual level of the room just broke the scale. Giju is staring at the newcomer like she's seen a ghost because she recognizes that face instantly from her blind date yesterday. It turns out her 5-star prince, Min Jae, is actually a student in her own department at the Korean National University of Arts.
The coincidence becomes even more absurd when Giju realizes she is the one officially assigned to be Min Jae's mentor.
She went from sharing drinks on a blind date to being his university guardian in less than 24 hours. The surrounding students are already busy spreading tea about Min Jae's high-profile family connections and acting royalty. They are baffled why someone with his looks would choose the struggle of playwriting over the glory of being a movie star. Min Jae appears visibly uncomfortable with all the unwanted attention and the paparazzi energy from his fellow students.
However, he is genuinely happy to be paired with Giju and promises to explain his complicated family situation once they are alone.
Professor Lim finally calls for everyone's attention to begin the formal introductions and the distribution of the welcome gifts. This is the moment where we see if Giju's shopping skills actually saved the freshman class from a lifetime of academic boredom. The professor publicly praises Giju for her incredible help in preparing for the mentorship program, leading to a massive round of applause. Our girl is currently turning several shades of red while the entire room stares at her in admiration. Giju is flustered and embarrassed by the unexpected spotlight, but at least the gifts are a huge hit with the new students. She just wants to hide in a corner, but the drama is only just getting started for the day. After the session wraps up, Min Jae pulls her aside with a very serious look on his face that doesn't match his 5-star rating.
He wants to know the unfiltered truth. Is she actually close with the legendary campus idol Hale Yun?
Giju tries to downplay their relationship as strictly professional and school-related, but she is failing to convince him. The rumors from the morning are still hanging in the air like a bad smell and Min Jae is clearly feeling the pressure.
Hale chooses this exact moment to walk up and interrupt the conversation with a smirking comment that screams mischief.
He intentionally mentions that he bought Giju a personal gift, causing the surrounding students to start whispering and getting the wrong idea again. The gossips are having a field day as Hale basically marks his territory in front of the whole freshman class. He is playing with fire, and Giju is caught right in the middle of a visual standoff between the two most popular guys on campus. Min Jae tries to reclaim Giju's attention by asking her out for a special pasta dinner to make up for their short date yesterday. He is not going to let his 5-star status be intimidated by a Casanova with a half-star reputation.
Hale refuses to back down an inch, reminding Giju of her promise to treat him to a meal as a thank you for saving her honor earlier.
It is a literal battle of the dinner dates, and our girl is currently the most wanted target in school. Giju finds herself at the absolute center of a tense standoff as Hale demands she finally choose which man she will go with. Is it going to be the 5-star golden boy or the 0.5-star campus idol? The choice is yours, Giju, but the whole world is watching. We start today's drama with a literal testosterone standoff. Our girl Giju is stuck in the middle of a high-stakes pressure cooker as the campus idol and her 5-star crush both demand she choose a dinner partner. Giju is currently malfunctioning as her brain tries to calculate an exit strategy that doesn't involve her dignity dying on the sidewalk. Min-jae starts laying on the puppy dog eyes, asking if she is really going to leave her adorable mentee behind.
The social pressure is hitting Giju like a freight train, so she panics and drops the most chaotic solution ever, an awkward 3-way dinner date where she picks up the entire tab. She tries to play it off like she is just fulfilling her mentor duties and keeping her promises to Hale, but the look on the guys' faces says it all. Even if the vibes are 100% vibrating with awkwardness, Giju is convinced that eating together is the only way to keep the peace without choosing a side. They arrive at a restaurant that is so high-end, Giju is currently having a stroke just looking at the number of zeros on the menu.
She is desperately trying to count zeros as she realizes she might have to sell a kidney to pay for this full-course meal.
Hale notices her soul leaving her body and smoothly intervenes, offering to pay since he chose the place anyway. Hale acts like it is no big deal, but Giju is just relieved she won't be washing dishes to pay for the steak. The first course arrives, and it is a beautiful mushroom cream pasta, which would be great if Giju didn't find the texture of mushrooms absolutely repulsive. She is staring at the plate with pure hesitation, but Min-jae sees his chance to shine. He starts meticulously picking every single mushroom out for her, and Giju is floored by this high-level 5-star consideration.
She is thinking that maybe the rating system really is onto something with this guy.
Not to be outdone by the junior, Hale goes for a more nom-than-power move. Instead of playing with the food, he just orders a brand new plate of tomato pasta so Giju can eat right away. He claims it is the fastest way to get her fed, effectively turning dinner into a competitive sport. Giju is now caught in the crossfire of two competing gestures of kindness. She feels so obligated to both of them that she starts inhaling both full plates of pasta just to avoid hurting anyone's feelings. Our girl is currently prioritizing peace over her own stomach capacity. Min-jae is worried she is going to get sick, but Giju is already too deep in the pasta sauce to stop now. She is forcing herself to clear both plates while the guys just watch her in a mix of confusion and awe. By the time the check is paid, Giju is physically vibrating with bloat and immediate regret.
She realizes that keeping the peace has successfully led to her feeling like an overstuffed balloon, and the walk out of the restaurant is a literal struggle for survival.
Hale tries to keep the night going by suggesting they all share a taxi since they live in the same direction. Giju is having a mental crisis because she cannot handle being alone with him in a small space right now. She quickly invents a total lie about forgetting something at school just to make a run for it. Min-jae sees his opening and claims he also needs to head back to campus, leaving Hale standing there looking suspicious. Once they are clear of the campus idol, Min-jae drops the good boy act and seizes the moment to ask Giju for a real one-on-one movie date. This isn't just any movie, Min-jae actually tracked down tickets for an indie adaptation of Giju's favorite book. Giju is touched that he actually paid attention to her author preferences and went through the effort to find a rare screening. Min-jae leads her toward a car parked near campus, and it isn't just some old sedan.
Seeing the luxury vehicle, Giju realizes the rumors about him being the son of acting royalty are 100% true.
Our girl is officially dating a literal billionaire heir. He takes her to a drive-in theater, adding a layer of magic and privacy to the date. Giju is starstruck because she has never experienced anything like this before.
But right as they settle in, Min-jae reveals his most thoughtful move yet.
He pulls out digestive medicine that he secretly bought while she was in the restroom. He noticed she was struggling after the double pasta massacre and actually cared enough to fix it.
Giju is starting to think this 5-star flawless love rating, is the most accurate thing in her life.
As the movie starts, the intimate silence of the car becomes deafening.
Giju is struggling with her own worth, wondering why a guy this perfect is being so kind to her.
She is worried she is just a charity case to him, but the tension in the air says otherwise. The drive-in vibes are getting way too intimate, and Giju is currently a blushing mess. She catches a glimpse of other couples being rowdy in their cars, and suddenly she can't focus on the movie at all. The enclosure of the car is starting to feel very, very small. Min-jae notices her lack of focus and leans in dangerously close to check if she has a fever. Giju's heart is doing backflips as he gets right into her personal bubble. The date just took a sharp turn into serious territory.
The romantic vibes at the drive-in theater are peaking as our 5-star golden boy leans in to drop a heavy truth bomb. But just as he is about to confess, the universe decides to prank our girl with a sudden, sharp betrayal from her own digestive system.
Giju is currently malfunctioning as her stomach starts a full-blown revolution after that massive pasta massacre from earlier. Min-jae is looking at her with pure concern, but he has no idea that his romantic lead is currently a ticking time bomb of intestinal distress. Our girl hits the panic button and launches herself out of the car in a desperate search for a porcelain throne. Min-jae tries to be the hero and follow her in the dark, but Giju screams for him to stay put, effectively choosing her dignity over a helping hand.
After a legendary battle in the restroom, Giju finally feels like a human being again, but the relief is immediately replaced by soul-crushing embarrassment.
She just turned the most romantic night of her life into a humiliating medical emergency. Min-jae catches up to her, acting like a total saint and suggesting they just head home so she can rest up. Giju is mortified, but she refuses to let her first movie date be remembered as the great bathroom incident of the art department. Our girl insists she is fine while her stomach is still doing the Macarena.
Min-jae manages to crack a smile and jokes that for their next date, she is strictly banned from eating or drinking anything, not even a drop of water.
The tension is finally broken, and Giju realizes that hanging out with Min-jae is like a warm hug for her sanity.
He is simple, he is fun, and most importantly, he doesn't treat her like a puzzle she has to solve. She starts doing the mental math, comparing this cozy warmth to the suffocating, intense pressure she feels whenever Hale is within a 10-mile radius. Min-jae is the safe harbor, but Hale is the storm she can't seem to escape.
Back at home, our girl is overthinking every small gesture, wondering if a 5-star guy like Min-jae could actually have feelings for a red flag collector like her.
She is feeling pretty good about life until the phone vibrates with a late-night call from her mom. The news is a total nightmare. Something terrible has gone down at the family restaurant while the world was sleeping. Giju rushes to the scene through the rain, sensing that her peaceful era is about to get a very expensive reality check. She arrives to find the store in ruins, with shattered glass everywhere and the interior looking like a war zone.
The police are suspecting intentional vandalism, and our girl realizes her family has just been targeted by a coward who clearly has no soul.
Mom drops the financial hammer. They need a staggering 5 million won for repairs since they don't have insurance. Giju knows her parents have already scraped the bottom of their savings, so she promises to find the money even if she has to rob a bank. The next morning at school, our heroine is a walking zombie, trying to figure out how to summon 5 million won while still passing her classes. Min-jae spots her and tries to check in on her post-movie health, but the conversation is immediately hijacked. Hae-yeon slides into the scene like he owns the air Giju breathes, acting strangely bothered by how close she is getting to the freshman star. The jealousy is radiating off him in waves as he digs for details about their late-night movie date. The drama is put on hold when Professor Lim enters the room to announce a high-profile school scenario contest. It is sponsored by a major publisher and judged by a prestigious troupe, making it the biggest academic event of the year. Giju is barely listening until the prize money is revealed, a cool 5 million won for the winning script. Her eyes turn into literal dollar signs because that is the exact amount she needs to save her parents from financial ruin. The catch is that you must enter as a team of 2, and at least one member has to be a freshman. Giju scans the room and locks onto Min-jae like a heat-seeking missile, knowing he is the perfect partner to carry her to victory. She is convinced that a rich boy like Hale wouldn't care about a measly prize or the headache of mentoring a newbie.
Our girl is ready to dominate the competition with her superior writing skills, thinking she is a shoo-in for the award.
Giju makes her move, grabbing Min-jae's hands and passionately begging him to join her team.
Min-jae is flustered by the sudden skinship but quickly agrees to follow her into battle, thinking it is a dream come true.
But just as the deal is sealed, the campus idol stands up and drops a nuke on her plans. Hale locks eyes with a stunned Giju and tells her with a wicked smirk that this contest is going to be a lot of fun. The atmosphere just got super heavy because the campus king, Hale Yun, decided to join the scriptwriting contest out of nowhere. He looks Giju dead in the eye and promises that things are about to get spicy, and honestly, the viewers are here for it. Giju is feeling more uncomfortable than ever, but she can't escape her senior because the professor literally locks them together for library duty. They are stuck organizing a mountain of donated books, turning a quiet library into a high-tension battlefield. While they are hauling boxes, Giju finally asks the million-dollar question: why would a rich, famous guy like him bother with a school competition? Hale doesn't give a straight answer and instead flips the script, making Giju the one defending her life choices.
Hale starts throwing shade at Giju's partner, hinting that her 5-star boy might not be the academic weapon she thinks he is.
He drops a massive hint that there is something suspicious about Minji's background that Giju is totally blind to. Bomb dropped. Hale reveals that Min-jae is a special scholarship student who got in through a process for kids with zero writing experience.
Giju is currently malfunctioning as she realizes she might be trying to win a professional race with a teammate who doesn't know how to start a car.
Giju is spiraling in absolute silence, her brain trying to calculate how to win against a genius with an amateur by her side.
She manages to confirm the news through a quick text to Min-jae, and her worst fears are officially realized. He is indeed a total rookie.
Just as she is drowning in stress, Hale pops up again to remind her of her debt.
He claims that the group dinner from before was a total fraud and insists that she still owes him a private, one-on-one meal to settle the score. Hale is laying on the pressure, acting like their previous meal didn't even exist. He wants Giju all to himself for a thank you date, and our girl is currently running out of excuses to say no to the campus idol. Before she can even process the date request, the resident Trazan Jua decides to crash the party. She intentionally spills a drink all over Giju, turning the library scene into a public humiliation show for the students watching.
Jua drops the fake nice girl act and goes full villain mode, screaming that Giju is a sly snake who sabotaged her confession to Hale.
She is tired of Giju acting like a victim and decides to air out all her petty grievances in front of everyone. Giju is exhausted by the constant campus drama and the sheer toxicity of her classmates.
She realizes Jua was waiting for this moment to attack, and our girl just wants to disappear into the floorboards.
Suddenly, a mysterious goddess-tier girl steps into the circle of hate and offers Giju a handkerchief. It is a rare moment of kindness in this shark tank of a school, and everyone, including Giju, is stunned by her beauty. But wait, the real twist is the ring. For the first time ever, the magical ring shows absolutely zero data. No star rating, no review, nothing. It is like this girl doesn't even exist in the system, which is officially terrifying for Giju. Later that night, Giju meets up with her rookie partner at the ruined family restaurant.
Seeing the shattered glass and broken furniture, Min-jae finally realizes why Giju is acting like she is in a life-or-death situation.
Desperate times call for embarrassing confessions. Giju admits that she needs that 5 million won prize money to save her parents from financial ruin after the vandalism. She is laying her cards on the table, begging her 5-star boy to pull a miracle. To see if Min-jae is actually a hidden gem or a total dud, Giju hands him a brutal entrance exam questionnaire. She tells him he has exactly 24 hours to prove he belongs in the playwriting department before they commit to the contest. Giju's friend Sang-soon is playing the voice of reason and it isn't pretty. She warns Giju that going against a monster like Hale with a total amateur is basically academic suicide. She says Giju is about to sell her soul for money and lose her reputation in the process. While they are debating their doom, Giju spots the handkerchief girl again and finds out she is a literal legend. Her name is John Tira, and she is the top-ranked freshman who crushed the practical skills exam with a perfect score. Giju tries to be a good person and returns the handkerchief to the mysterious Tira. But the scene is immediately hijacked by Hale Yun, who walks up like he owns the place. Hale drops the final nuke of the chapter by revealing that Tira is his official mentee and his partner for the contest. It is officially a powerhouse team of the department star and the top freshman against our girl and her amateur student.
The scale of the war just shifted to impossible levels as Giju realizes she is facing acting and writing royalty.
Just then, Min-jae arrives on the scene, looking exhausted but holding his finished homework. Min-jae hands over the papers, asking if he did well enough to stay on her team. Giju is looking at the powerhouse opponents and then at her amateur teammate, realizing the writing war of the century has officially begun. We start with a high-stakes homework delivery that might just be the most expensive piece of paper in Giju's life. Min-jae is practically glowing with pride as he hands over his assignment, and at first glance, Giju is dazzled by a sentence so beautiful it looks like actual art.
Our girl is having a total internal meltdown, wondering why a guy with this much natural talent would even bother with a special scholarship. She's ready to crown him the king of the department, thinking she finally hit the jackpot with her 5-star mentee.
But then we have the campus ice king, Hale Yun, smirking from the sidelines like he knows a secret that's about to ruin Giju's whole career. He suggests that Minji's skills are actually the polar opposite of what our girl perceives, dropping a major red flag in the middle of her celebration. Giju decides to actually read past the first line, and oh boy, the horror is real. She finds a chaotic, messy disaster where a single sentence spans 11 lines and looks like a dictionary threw up on a page. The essay is a literal nightmare filled with incomprehensible 4-character idioms that nobody uses in the 21st century. To make it weirder, the kid is obsessed with various colored roses, repeating them like he's trying to summon a florist instead of writing a script.
Giju's brain is currently short-circuiting as she realizes her genius partner might actually be an academic catastrophe.
She's questioning if she can even understand his writing style or if she's just been blinded by those 5 golden stars over his head. Our girl starts connecting the dots and suspects this bizarre rose obsession is a direct reference to Baek Jang-mi from the system reviews.
Since Jang-mi literally means rose, she realizes Minji's writing isn't just bad. It's potentially a coded message for a past love.
Realizing that natural talent isn't going to save her family restaurant, Giju drops the nice senior act and asks Min-jae why he even entered the playwriting department. She's blunt, she's tired, and she's staring at a teammate who seems to have zero basic skills. With only 3 weeks left until the contest deadline, Giju lays down the law. She tells Min-jae that if they want that 5 million won, he has to follow her instructions exactly like a robot. She starts cooking up a survival strategy, focusing on the themes of youth and passion that campus judges usually eat up. Giju is ready to sell the judges exactly what they want to see, turning this contest into a calculated business move. Giju divides the labor like a pro, tasking Min-jae with scraping information on Professor Lim's theater company while she tackles the publishing house. She gives him a stack of reference books and tells him to get to work, hoping he can at least handle basic research. While she's trying to focus, Min-jae starts acting like a total distraction, interrupting her with snacks and drinks. Giju is fuming because she feels like he's wasting precious minutes on trivial things while their 5 million won dream is ticking away. Min-jae takes a mysterious phone call and disappears for nearly an hour, leaving Giju alone in the library. Our girl is officially done, deciding that her 5-star boy has zero sense of responsibility and is basically a non-existent member of the team. As the library prepares to close, Giju is working herself into a rage while hauling Minji's heavy bag.
She's vowing to never let him off for this betrayal, convinced she's the only one actually trying to save her family.
Suddenly, the traitor returns huffing and puffing, carrying bags of takeout food like he didn't just abandon ship.
He's smiling like a puppy, claiming he thought she'd be thirsty and hungry after a long day of work.
Giju absolutely explodes, shouting that she never asked for food or his help if it meant leaving her alone to do all the heavy lifting. She's laying into him for his lack of effort, but Minji's face says he's hiding a massive trump card. Min-jae apologizes for the radio silence and reveals he wasn't slacking off, he was actually hunting for information that isn't on the internet. He hands her a detailed dossier on the theater company that makes her research look like child's play. The dossier is incredible, covering everything from the director's favorite plays to the specific jinxes that can ruin a performance. Min-jae has successfully mapped out the judge's brains, proving he's much more useful than Giju ever imagined. He finally admits that the rumors are true. His parents are the world-famous actors Kim Min-young and Mo Jae-chon. He used their industry connections to get private interviews with the staff, doing research in the only way a celebrity's son knows how. Giju is hit with a massive wave of guilt for judging him so harshly.
She realizes he was doing his best to contribute in his own way, and she was the one who misread the situation.
Min-jae gets serious and confesses that he chose playwriting over a guaranteed acting career because there was one specific person he needed to meet. The atmosphere is getting heavy and romantic until the universe decides to pull another prank. Splash! A campus gardener accidentally drenches them both with a high-pressure water hose while trying to water the flowers. The serious moment is officially washed away, leaving our leads looking like drowned rats in the middle of campus. Giju is shivering and her house is too far away for a wet walk, so Min-jae drops the ultimate invitation. He points to his house right in front of them and asks her to come inside to dry off. We start with our leads looking like a pair of drowned rats after a high-pressure gardening accident.
Giju is currently panicking about the long, wet trek home, but the universe is about to turn this cold shower into a high-stakes residential drama.
Min-jae tries to be the hero by offering his place, but Giju realizes her own apartment is literally a stone's throw away.
She ends up hesitantly inviting the 5-star golden boy into her lair so he doesn't catch a cold on her watch. Our girl is officially vibrating with nervous energy because she has never brought a guy home before. Her place is a sacred zone usually reserved for her bestie Sang-soon, but now a billionaire heir is standing in her living room while dripping wet. Just as Giju is about to play the perfect hostess and make some cocoa, the door opens and her worst nightmare appears. Her neighbor Hale is standing right there, looking like he just caught his favorite target in the middle of a secret rendezvous. Min-jae is visibly glitching as he tries to process why the campus idol is loitering outside Giju's door. Our heroine has to awkwardly explain that they are actually cohabitants of the same building, turning a simple dry-off session into a sticky social situation. Hale doesn't just watch, he takes full control of the scene like a jealous director. He stops Min-jae from entering any further and provides a set of his own clothes, effectively making sure the junior doesn't spend another second in Giju's private space. The campus star starts giving a lecture on proper behavior, telling Min-jae it's totally inappropriate to be at a woman's house late at night. He is acting like Giju's self-appointed guardian, using her recent breakup as a shield to block the competition. Min-jae isn't backing down and decides to poke the bear, asking Hale if he actually has romantic feelings for his mentee. The air in the hallway is currently thick enough to choke on as the 5-star boy and the 0.5-star idol have a silent testosterone standoff. Our polite junior finally drops the nice guy mask and confesses that he has been harboring a deep crush on Giju for a very long time. He even asks the senior for his support, not realizing he just declared war on a man who doesn't like to lose. Hale looks totally unimpressed by the confession, acting like Min-jae just read a bad script. He implies the junior completely misunderstood his warning, but his cold eyes say he is definitely taking the threat seriously. The next day at school, Min-jae is in full perfect boyfriend mode, handling all the lunch reservations like a pro. He is doing everything to win Giju over, but the campus gossip mill is already moving on to a newer, sexier topic. Students are whispering like crazy about Hale and the top freshman, Tira, potentially becoming the next campus power couple. Giju tries to be the bigger person and greet her neighbor when they pass by, but the campus idol pulls the ultimate Ice King move. Hale Yun has officially entered his Ice King era, walking right past our heroine in the hallway like she's a literal piece of campus furniture. Giju is left standing there looking like a total clown after he ignores her greeting entirely, making it clear that her 0.5-star neighbor is done playing nice.
Instead of crying over the cold shoulder, Giju decides to bury her bruised ego and channel all that negative energy into her work.
She enters her genius writer mode and locks herself away to grind through the high-stakes script, determined to win that 5 million won and save her parents' restaurant regardless of what the campus idol thinks.
Our girl is officially crushing the deadline, hitting the save button on her final draft way ahead of schedule.
She realizes that while Min-jae is just a freshman, his legendary research skills acted like a literal cheat code for their project, giving her the ultimate academic weapon to finally take down a natural genius like Hale.
Giju reflects on her partnership with Min-jae, realizing that his incredible research skills were basically a legal cheat code for their project. He provided insider info that gave their story an edge no other student could possibly match. A surge of confidence hits her as she prepares for the submission. She truly believes that their unique topic and strategy are strong enough to finally allow her to beat a natural genius like Hale on the academic battlefield. Giju heads to the department room to finalize everything, but the vibe is all wrong. She finds a crowd of horrified students gathered around her desk, looking like they just witnessed a digital murder. Our girl pushes through the crowd and is hit with a scene of absolute devastation. Her desk is covered in white powder and her future just got a whole lot darker as she stares at the wreckage of her hard work. To her absolute horror, Giju discovers her laptop has been brutally smashed to pieces with a fire extinguisher. It isn't just a hardware failure, it is a violent act of malice designed to crush her dreams and her family's hopes. She frantically checks for her backup, but the nightmare doesn't end. Her backup USB has also been destroyed, leaving her with absolutely nothing but a pile of broken plastic and metal. Imagine your entire future being smashed to bits by a fire extinguisher in the middle of a school lab. Giju is currently staring in pure horror at her shattered laptop and a mangled USB that looks like it went through a blender. The damage is a total nightmare because the hardware is so twisted the computer won't even recognize it is plugged in. Our girl is officially looking at the end of her contest dreams before the finish line.
With the midnight deadline for the scriptwriting contest breathing down her neck, Giju is entering a full-blown panic spiral.
She is beating herself up with a wave of intense guilt, wondering why she was careless enough to leave her work unattended in the lion's den.
Despite the internal chaos and the feeling that she ruined everything, she managed to maintain a shred of sanity. She clears the group of nosy onlookers out of the room so she and her partner can face the wreckage in private. Giju is ready to wave the white flag, telling Min-jae that they have zero choice but to call it quits. She is apologizing profusely, feeling like the ultimate villain for destroying their shot at that 5 million won prize money.
Our heroine is resigned to her fate, but her 5-star golden boy is acting suspiciously calm in the middle of the disaster.
Min-jae is just standing there, looking like he has a secret that is about to drop the ultimate Uno reverse card on this tragedy. Boom. Min-jae reveals the secret backup plan of the century, showing her that he has been emailing the script files to himself the entire time. It turns out his academic insecurity actually saved their lives because he wanted to study Giju's style by sending himself a copy of every major update.
Seeing the long list of saved drafts in his inbox, Giju is hit with a wave of relief so strong she could cry.
She officially declares that Min-jae is a gift from the heavens for having the foresight of a literal psychic. They aren't in the clear yet though, as the most recent version of the script has to be reconstructed from pure memory. With only 3 hours left on the clock, Giju is determined to make a miracle happen and win this war against the Vandal. The two leads are entering the ultimate crunch time, working with a feverish intensity that makes a high-speed chase look slow. They are pouring every ounce of focus into rebuilding the final pages of their story as the seconds tick toward midnight. The tension is peaking as the submission portal clock hits the final countdown. With exactly 60 seconds left before the digital doors slam shut, they finally smash the send button and celebrate a narrow escape from a total career death.
Giju is so overwhelmed with joy that she completely forgets her usual social barriers.
She starts thanking her mentee like her life depended on it, realizing that their partnership just survived a literal murder attempt. Min-jae admits he was totally impressed by how she kept her cool during the crisis, even if he is currently blushing like a tomato. The sudden display of gratitude from his senior is clearly hitting him harder than the fire extinguisher hit the laptop. As they pack up their stuff, they finally start looking at the damage from a practical side. Giju is relieved to find out the laptop is actually covered by insurance, so at least her bank account won't be as smashed as the screen. Min-jae gets serious and shifts the conversation to the dark reality of what just happened. He asks Giju how she is handling the fact that someone in this school actually hates her enough to commit a violent act of sabotage.
Giju realizes she was so focused on the deadline that she didn't even process the malice behind the attack.
She starts a mental scan of her classmates, looking for a culprit among her rivals like Choi Mari. She quickly clears Mari's name, believing that while they are academic enemies, her rival has too much respect for the art of writing to commit a digital assassination. She knows Mari would rather win fair and square.
Then her thoughts turn to the resident Trashy, but she dismisses her too.
She knows that while Jua is petty and holds a grudge, she is too confrontational and loud to be this sneaky and indirect. Ultimately, the finger of suspicion points straight at the campus idol himself, Hail Yun. He is the one with the most to gain by removing the top-ranked competition from the leaderboard.
Giju is left feeling a cold sense of unease, wondering if the man she was starting to see as a hero is actually her primary enemy.
The man with a 0.5-star rating might just be living up to his reputation. Meanwhile, a group of gossiping students outside reveals that someone actually saw the culprit in the act. The witness is preparing to drop a name that everyone will recognize, claiming the laptop destroyer is someone incredibly famous on campus.